Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Appreciate you hanging with us. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube channel. He's Derek Gunn. I am Rob Ellis on this Thursday as we are counting down till Sunday, 1 p.m., Liquid Financial Field. Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Commanders. Commanders come in 2-1, Eagles 3-0. We know what happened last year at Liquid Financial Field. The Commanders came in and upset them. And, we thought, you know what? Who better to give us the down low on what's going on with Washington, even the Eagles, the NFC East. I don't think anybody knows that division better than the man we're about to talk to right now. He is the one and only, the incomparable, the man who should be in the Hall of Fame. Yes, I said it.
I vote yes.
Yes. Brian Mitchell. B. Mitch.
How y'all doing, man? What's going on?
What's going on, brother?
I am chilling, man. I'm chilling.
Brian hops on with us right after his radio show. We appreciate it, Brian. Thanks, man.
I got the little prop right there. I had the mic right there.
I know. You're a pro. It's all about the staging, as they say. If you watch HGTV, Brian, that's what they tell you, man.
There you go.
Get the staging out there. But yeah, Brian does an awesome job. 1067, The Fan. He also does an awesome job just covering the Commanders in general. So, Brian, first one I wanted to hit you with out of the chute. What's the difference been just from a psyche, a vibe standpoint with Josh Harris taking over from Daniel Snyder?
It's night and day. It was a 1 when Dan was here. It's probably a 21 right now. I think people had saw where they were in a rut and they didn't think anything was going to change no matter what happened. Right. Because every week, every month, as the years went on, something else popped up. And for us as media people and for the fans, we found ourselves talking about individual problems with the owner more than we did football. And right now it's just so nice to be able to wake up and talk football for 4 hours a day. Hey, we're not talking great football after last week, but the first 2 weeks were exciting. And I think after that game that they lost to Buffalo, I still sense a different attitude from the fans. They understand this is a young team with the quarterback and all that. And, they have 1-2 games, so you thought they were better. But then it brought it back down to earth to say, you know what? There's going to be some growing pains with this with a young quarterback like Sam Howell.
Is that how you're perceiving it also? Because I know how competitive you are, and I know your win now mindset. So let me ask you like this: on a scale of 1 to 10, through 3 games, we have to emphasize that through 3 games. What is your okay level compared to your frustration level with this team?
Well, my frustration level, because I normally wait 5 weeks when when you bring in a new quarterback, okay, as a young guy, I give him 5 weeks. But hell, you bring in a new coordinator, a young quarterback, and a whole new ownership group. So I'm still going week 5, and I think that's when I'll be able to sense a little bit more. But I've seen some good things early on, but I've seen some bad things. Yeah. And I hear the coaches saying that Sam doesn't repeat the same mistake twice. Well, I've seen him repeat the same mistake twice. And as I said on radio today, where he is in a position where not everybody get, okay? Yeah. You're in that position because the coaches see you as a little better, have a little bit better mindset than most quarterbacks that play that position. So you're not judged as like everybody else. Like if I'm a guy who went to school and I've had straight A's, then I go to college, they're going to judge me based off of being a straight A student from high school. Right. They're not going to say this guy just creeped into college and we're going to understand he got to go to remedial class first. When I went to University of Louisiana, my first year was physics, calculus, chemistry. I had math class in my English class. So you had 12, 17, 18 hours. Most students were taking 12 and 15. I was taking 17, 18 directly in a chemical engineering major, and I was judged based off of that. Sam Howell is a little bit more blessed than anybody else. And I'm at the point now where I have to start judging him based off of that. I can't keep saying he's young. After 3 weeks with my rookies, Monty Coleman told me, you're no longer a rookie. I'm like, man, what do you mean? He said, after 3 games, you're vested for that year. You're now a second-year guy. Let's get it done. It wouldn't allow me to make those mistakes. So I think if you allow guys to keep having the excuse of being a rookie, being young, they don't improve quick enough. Now I expect them to play better.
Wow. Be kind, man. Be nice. Be lenient.
I am being nice. Listen, I think the kid has a strong arm. I think he has the right mindset. He answers questions. Like, he doesn't ever throw his teammates under the bus.
Right.
He takes the blame for everything. But ultimately, you have to start making better decisions. So listen, his offensive line hasn't protected him enough, but also he's made them look bad by holding on to the football a little too long.
Yeah, Brian, that's what I was going to ask you. You see 19, that's a glaring number, but you also know, because we lived it with Carson Wentz, so did you last year.
Yes.
If you don't have that clock in your head, man, I don't care who the offensive line, you can't contain those guys that long. Yeah. How much of those 19 are on Sam versus the O-line?
I think about 45% of them are on him, you know. But the thing, like, I watched the game on what was it, Monday night with the Eagles, and I watched Jalen Hurts, and I remember watching Jalen his first year. Jalen will drop back, and as soon as he saw color, he took off. Okay, and a lot of that ended up being sacks, and he may run and get some yards like that. Now I watched him the other night where he was back, he slid up a little bit, he slid over to the left, he slid back to the right, and just got enough time to deliver the ball right before the guy hit him. Sam has a tendency when he sees, he drops down, okay? And then he turns away. The one thing about a quarterback, if you're going to be good at it, your eyes must always be downfield to give the sense that you're still looking downfield. You turn your back, hell, nobody know you're looking down. They know you're not looking downfield at that point, and he has to get better at that. Learn how to just be a ballerina in the pocket. If he wants you to start, Tom Brady couldn't run away from his shadow, okay?
Right.
But Tom Brady was the best at just sitting in the pocket and sliding over a little bit, sliding up, sliding back, and delivering the football.
So Brian, when we had you on last season, you talked about the glaring issues with the offensive line.
Yeah.
How did they not address that more properly this offseason, leading into the season, once they committed to Sam Howell, knowing they have a new offensive coordinator coming in here?
I think they did, but I think the people that they did it with haven't panned out like they want them to at this point. Wiley, who came from Kansas City, he hasn't been very good in preseason or the regular season. Leno, who they kept here, who has been the guy, he's in every game, but he has a tendency to do a certain thing. I'm not going to say it right here to give nobody no hints, but he does it over and over again. For a veteran player, you have to know that you got a direct line to the quarterback at that point. Then they have Sadiq Charles, who's been the best offensive lineman that we had this year so far. He's an athletic guy, and I think he's been playing well, even in our training camp and our preseason. And then Sam Cosmi is inconsistent. Nick Gates from the Giants. I think Nick, he has all of the tenacity. He tries to do a lot, but he's been a little inconsistent as well. So the offensive line has to come together. Then they let Trent Williams walk out of here. They let Morgan Moses walk out of here. They let Brandon Sheriff walk out of here. You're talking about three guys that plays damn well and are still playing great in this league. If those guys were still here, what could be happening? See, the thing it comes down to sometimes, personalities don't mix with the people that are making the decisions.
Right.
And sometimes if you got to get, like coaches told me, you got to be able to play for anybody. Well, coach should be able to coach anybody. You should never let a personality get in the way of keeping a damn good player.
Well, all right, then that leads me right into this one, Brian. And you know what it's like as a player when you kind of get inherited by a new coach or new GM or whatever. But Ron Rivera is inherited by Josh Harris. Yeah. How hot is that seat? Do you think he's in some trouble here this year?
Well, Josh hasn't said anything like that, and nobody seems to be putting the pressure on him. But we all been around this game. We understand that you're going to have to play better than what you've done in the previous 3 years. You have to make sure that your team fare better to be able to move forward. You know, I think Magic Johnson basically came in, and when Magic made the comment that, you know, we want the coaches and the players to worry about football. We'll take care of the rest. I take that as, you know what? As we go forward, it won't be coaches picking players like they're the GM and things like that. We're going to have people in those positions to do it. So I would think that the seat is warm. You know, I think it's warm, maybe hot, but no one has kind of said it publicly or even addressed it, to be honest with you.
Hey, B-Mitch, speaking of the seat being hot, do you think there's any way Josh Harris walks into Lincoln Financial Field Sunday knowing how this fan base, number one, feels about his 76ers that are unraveling, and number two, knowing that he owns a team within the division?
Brian, talk to him, man. If you have his ear, talk to him.
Talk to him, Brian.
He's going to get booed. We know that. And I think he knows that too. He's been up there already. Well, hell, he's been there since college, you know? So he understands how it's going to be. I don't think look, listen, man. In this, when you get to their neighborhoods, the money that they have, he's going to pop up that you buy. And you're going to have to not worry about it, I guess. But hell, I'm coming up there to do shows. I hope the fans still like me.
They love you. You are not in the same category as Josh Harris. Trust me.
It's no, listen, I think he understands that he will be booed. He will be booed.
All right. We're trying to help him here, Brian. That's what we're trying to do.
He better come. He can get him a little,
little disguise.
Walk on in there.
He better walk in with you. That's about the only shot he's got. Walk in with B. Mitch. That's the only chance he has. How real were the first two wins, Brian? I mean, you look at it, it was the Cardinals, it was the Broncos, and then obviously last week was ugly. But what's the real Commanders in your estimation?
The thing I look at, I think what they did in the second half of both of those games is what they're capable of. Actually, from the second quarter in the Denver game, Miami just caught them. They got blown away. I think there's more internal turmoil going on in Denver. But hell, the Cardinals came back and they showed Dallas what it was about.
Yeah.
I think they gave the league a recipe for Dallas. You got those great pass rushers, run at them. Let's see if Michael Parsons can take on those 300-pounders all day and do something with it. But I think the team, they're 2-1, and I believe that the two wins that they got them against NFL caliber teams. We watch every year a real good team lose by some bad teams. Yeah. They were supposed to beat the Cardinals, I felt. I didn't think they would beat Denver, and they ended up beating them. Before the year, I say, win one, they're going to lose that one. They'll lose against Buffalo. And then the thing that this is what gets me about the Eagles. And you said they came up there last year and they beat them. For some reason, no matter how bad this team is, when the Eagles are good, they play them better than anybody else in the league. Yes. Because they see them twice a year. They play them every year. They understand what they do very well. I'll say this. The offensive line of the Eagles, it reminds me so much of the ones I played in when I was with the Eagles and behind the halls when I was playing here in Washington.
Right.
The defensive line of Washington, they get a lot of hype. This is a game where you can go make yourself be what people say you are, what you think you are. Mm-hmm. They have to play well against the Eagles. If they can't stop the run against the Eagles, it could be a long night.
What do you think about those two young D tackles the Eagles have, man, and Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis right now?
Hey, that's exactly what I was talking about earlier when I was saying Sam Howell being a young guy, you got to stop saying he's young. They're young. Yeah. Look how they're playing, like grown-ass men, to be honest with you. And I think that's the way you got to play. Listen, those guys were terrors in our college, and they're doing the exact same thing right now. So, it's just they know how to pick them up there. Listen, you need a GM that knows what the hell they're doing.
Brian, talk to me on the other side about the way from what you've seen, the way the Eagles are just running all over teams. I mean, you watched it on Monday night. I mean, they just, even with Vita Vea and that crew, they just said, here it is, stop it. And they couldn't stop it.
11.3 yards a carry gets you into the Pro Bowl as a punt returner. He was getting 11 point something to carry the other day. I watched one play, and when John Harbaugh and I were there, I always talked about blockers having your butt in the hole and walk the people up out of it.
Yeah.
You look at the one play where you had Swift going up the middle, and every offensive lineman was on a man. All you saw was the big butts of the Eagles linemen and a big hole that you could drive a truck through. Yeah. When you got them like that, you're going to kill teams. But on top of it, every running back runs hard. They break tackles. So I think what you have right now is the offensive line has confidence that the guys are going to hit the hole or they're going to break one tackle. And the running backs have the confidence that the line is going to get it. That's a great combination to have.
Go back to Howell for just a moment. When you have the collection of receivers he does in McLaurin, Dotson, and Curtis Samuel, what are the little intricacies that he needs to do better to get the ball in their hands? Because from my perspective, and I'm not seeing it as thoroughly as you are, shorten up the passing game, shorten up your mental mechanism. If you got to dink and dunk your way down the field, because the way these DBs nowadays play, say 7 or 10 yards off the ball, you can dink and dunk them all day.
See, that's the thing about it. I think when you have a play, what's happening with Sam right now, on top of not getting a lot of time from the offensive lineman, he'll lock on to the first guy, and he's waiting for him to open. I tell people all the time, I played against Joe Montana, and when the game was over, I was like, the guy's arm is not terrific. He did nothing special. Yeah. But when you go back and watch the film, he didn't wait for guys to get open. He threw them open. He didn't wait. He went. The guy wasn't open. He came. He dumped off. If I dump it off 5 yards, 4 yards, you catch the ball, turn up, they get 2 or 3 yards, that's 2nd and 2 or 3.
That's right.
If I keep doing that, what happens? Linebackers creep up.
Yep.
The cornerbacks start to creep up. Now a guy slips past you and they go down the field. What I said earlier on, I was talking on radio and I said this. People are impatient in sports. So if you're an offensive lineman or offense like the Eagles were doing, like when they run the ball 9 and 10 times, what does the defense? What is it? They're forced to go
load
out
the
there
box
and try to make something happen.
Right.
And then you load the box and you come, boom, you hit AJ, he goes on you.
Right.
Or you hit Devontae, he goes on you. They have to figure out a way of doing that. Too many times we worry about stats, big plays, and I think fantasy football, as much as I love it, it screwed football up. Everybody wants to have the fantasy points. But the only thing that truly matters is what? Scoring touchdowns, right?
That's
So
right.
if I take 15 plays or 2 plays, I get 7 points is what I need to get.
That's
So
right.
I feel like Tom Brady and the Patriots, when they would throw the ball to all of those little short slot people, 5 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards, then you miss a tackle, boom, they go about 15, 20. That is how you frustrate people and make them have to make the mistakes. You know, if you go out there and you're taking all the chances and the risk, you're going to play into the hands of a defense.
Brian, what kind of difference has Eric Bieniemy made since coming over from Kansas City?
Well, accountability is one. I think Eric has made all the players be accountable. Even coaches, he made them be accountable. He picked up the pace and the intensity of practice. But I think right now what's happening is they work things out in practice because, you know, in practice, you're not going against the first team. You're going against the scout team. And the scout team normally is put in position to make things look good. But once you get into the football game, you're going to understand that the other team is not going to just get in the right place for you. I think what needs to happen is, you know, these players, a lot of players always say, yeah, I'm prepared. They get prepared in practice. The way you get prepared in the NFL, when you go home, I'm on the computer right now talking to you. I should be watching film to where based off of assignment, I'm knowing based off a line, they line up personnel grouping, I should know 1 of 4 plays they can run. I should know what they're trying to attack. And the thing about it, then you got to start watching yourself. See, you know, when I first got to the league, I would go and watch film and I come back quickly and Ernest Minor say, you finished? I said, yeah. He said, dude, you watching TV. You ain't watching film. Because I watched the whole game in less time than it probably took it because I'm just running through it, see a big play, watch that one twice. But he said, you need to watch out what tendencies you're giving off. See what lineup they're in. See what type of things they attack. And go back. You should watch one play at least 4 or 5 times or more. So I think a lot of players are not really understanding that yet. And in this offense that Andy would run with our Eric, and they've added more since Andy was in Philly, it is very, very much intense. And if you don't understand the whole concept of it, you'll screw yourself up. Terry McLaurin was talking about spacing. There are times when a defensive back will jump into a certain area. You try to go around him, you get in somebody else's space, you screw the whole play up.
Right.
You got to understand all that stuff. And if they're not doing it on a consistent basis, it could be a problem where the quarterback may be looking for you, but you're not there.
Right.
All right. I need some old school B Mitch right now. Now, when the rumor came out that players were grumbling that Bieniemy was too tough on them, now we in the platform here and across the field, we sitting there snickering. Like, what are you talking about too tough? I want to know what B Mitch said when he heard this stuff.
Well, I can't say it because you're probably on the thing where they go, the FCC will get us.
No,
but,
this is you.
Yeah, you're good here.
I was highly pissed off. I wanted the one finger salute to everybody that complained because for me, you don't even practice anymore.
Thank you.
They don't wear pads. They don't go 2 days. What the hell are they talking about? You know, I've been through a situation where I went 3 days in gear.
Yep.
So when I heard that, I'm like, dude, I remember when I first got into Philly and they said, we're going to go just 3 days or 2 days, and then we'll never go 2 days again. I'm like, what? You know, but then when we went in the pad without pads, I noticed Andy wanted us with an upbeat pace. And I was like, Coach, I'd rather have on pads. But he said, when you get to in the season, you'll figure out what we're doing. We got in the season, I was fresh as hell.
Yeah.
You know, it was the best 3 years I was in the best shape, and I had my best 3 years back to back to back. So I understand what Eric is doing, but the thing about it, Eric made the comment, he said, listen, you know, they can come talk to me. He said, but to get to where you haven't been, you got to do what you've never done.
That's right.
And that is what this team needed. Okay. I've seen it with Ron, I've seen it with Jay Gruden and people before him. They had Club Med. And then you get in the game, you think it's going to just pick up. You need to practice at the pace that you're going to play at.
Hmm.
And Jack Del Rio, when we had to talk to him before a preseason game, he said, I love what he's brought here because now my guys have to understand that pace. When you play a lot of teams like the Eagles, they're trying to get a lot of plays. You know, you could get accustomed to it. So whoever was complaining, I have never found out exactly who it is. But if I do, I'm going to tell him that he basically set the team back in a different way.
Yeah, I hear you. I said you would have been safe here. This is a safe space. You can say whatever you want. Curious, just and we touched on the running game a little bit and Carter and Davis, but what do you think about the Eagles generally this season?
I think they haven't even played their best football right now,
right.
And they're sitting at 3-0. You know, I think the running game is there, and they're terrific at it, and they should always do it because I hate that the league is trying to get rid of the run. Let's think about this, okay, for a little bit. How dumb are the people that make decisions in the NFL? They try to stop the running game. When what you do, you run and you catch a ball, dude, and fall down with them. But you have more passes where they're going across the middle, full speed, looking up in the air, and get hit. That's more concussions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So it's dumb to me. But the Eagles right now, I think the passing game is a little behind the running game, but still, you see they have a lot of opportunities to get it done.
Yeah.
Defensively, when you lose a few people and then you go and you get young studs like that it's like you just plug them right in. I think they're just as good as they were last year. Not at this point, but they could end up probably being just as good or better than they were last year.
I got to get your perspective on the running backs basically forming an informal committee through this summer because they feel like they're being devalued across the league.
They are.
Give me your perspective on why do you think that is, and what can they do in protest to get their voices heard more moving forward financially?
See, it was happening with receivers at first. They started getting paid when they got together. It was happening with defensive backs. How about the pass rushers now? Hell, they probably starting to get dollars like the quarterback. But they have to stick together, and people got to stop signing those low contracts. You're a running back. What you do, you block an offensive line. You block a D lineman to help out offensive linemen. You're blocking linebackers who are bigger than you ordinarily. You're taking the punishment and things of that nature. The thing that I hate is they say, well, they get hurt. Aaron Rodgers got hurt in 75 seconds, didn't he?
That's right.
They gave him $30-something million. His contract was going to be more than that, but he took a cut. Aaron Rodgers will come back next year. Somebody else will give him $35, $40, $50 million.
That's right.
So don't tell me he gets hurt. It is a vital part. And the teams that are smart, they keep him a good running back. The teams that just want to say, let's just throw the ball around the yard, let's be real. Most quarterbacks can't throw the ball around the yard.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones is not worth $40-something million. I don't care what nobody say.
Nope.
Not worth it. Okay? So you tell me a guy that's a running back that probably as good as the best athlete on the team, he has to be getting a way less money than another position where that guy stinks, and you're going to give him $40-50 million. Makes no sense to me.
I mean, punters and kickers are getting paid better than
quality running backs. It makes no sense.
It's unbelievable.
And it's linebackers on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Last one from me, B. Mitch. Just your overall NFC East thoughts. Cowboys wake-up call last week against the Cardinals. You know, obviously you see Washington all the time. You pay attention to the Giants and the Eagles. You played for all three. So what do you think?
I think the Eagles are number one. The Cowboys are two at this point, but I think like if people are going to run the ball at Lawrence and Micah Parsons and find out what that defense can really do, you lost Diggs now. That was your best cornerback. Yeah. If I can find out that your weakness is run game and people start running downhill at them, then they're going to have problems because I think Whack Prescott, and I called him Whack Prescott.
Whack.
He is very much like Tony Romo. He's a damn good quarterback, but he makes his mistakes at the wrong times. You know, you're going into the end zone last week, you throw an interception. That interception should never happen.
Yep.
So that is the problem I have with him. He can put up numbers open in the open field, but his mistakes is in the red zone or when he's backed up. That's horrible. Yeah. You can't be that way. So then the Giants, I don't think if Saquon Barkley, and this is what I'm talking about, the quarterback and the running back. If Saquon Barkley is hurt, can't play a lot, they have no chance in hell of doing that.
Thank you.
So if Daniel Jones is hurt and Saquon is healthy, they still have a chance of doing something. But I think the Giants are going to drop off. It's going to be Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants.
Okay.
Would you Saquon came out and says a high ankle sprain. Would you play him this week? Rob and I were debating this. I would not play him against that 49ers defense this week. I'd give him an extra week. There's no way, even with Saquon, they beat the 49ers.
They're not beating the 49ers. So I would probably hold him out because that high ankle sprain thing, it's a little weird. You know, I had a friend of mine, my rookie season, second year, he had a high ankle sprain in the beginning of rookie training camp. Donnie Warren came the next week and broke his ankle. Donnie Warren was playing in 7 weeks. My guy wasn't playing in November. High ankle sprain is one of the most serious. Nobody knows what the hell it really is, but it's probably one of the most painful injuries, and it takes the longest to heal.
Thank you.
They might want to give him another week because against that team, he's going to have to be running for his life.
Yeah, I think it's really short-term thinking throwing him out there, man.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We'll see what ends up happening. Brian, listen, man, we love when you join us. Always fun catching up with you. You can follow Brian on Twitter at BMitchLive30. Of course, you can hear him, B Mitch in Finley, 106.7 The Fan in the DC area. Brian, thanks, man. Appreciate a couple minutes of your time.
Anytime, bro. Y'all know it. Take care.
Take care.
Be good, man.
I love Whack Prescott, man. How great is that? I'm totally using that. I will give him props, but I will totally use that. Anything I can do to take a shot at the Cowboys, I'm in, man. That's so awesome. Oh my God. All right, let's get a timeout in, Derek. We got a bunch of other stuff to get to when we come back. Jimmy Butler's none too happy, or is he just playing around a little bit when it comes to the Bucks and the quote unquote tampering with Dame? We'll get into that. Will Chamberlain, Ronald Acuna Jr., a bunch of other things that we'll cover, then birthdays and movies, and we'll give you a little more birds on the way out as well. He is Derek Gunn. I am Rob Ellis, and we are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Right back.
I remember getting my heart broken when they lost the Super Bowl in 2004. We're big Eagles fans. We moved to South Philly because of the Eagles. When they won, we went straight to Broad Street, and everybody was going nuts over there, and it was just a memory that you'll never forget.